Google recently closed an acquisition of a 4-year-old cloud security startup named Wiz for $32 billion. Looking down at the Google campus, the physical scale matches the corporate weight. This stands as the largest deal in Alphabet's history and the highest-priced buyout of a venture-backed company ever recorded. Despite its massive resources, Google has spent years trailing behind Amazon Web Services and Microsoft Azure in the highly lucrative cloud security market. Google paid a $32 billion ransom to immediately plug a strategic vacuum that threatened their long-term survival in cloud computing. The acquisition almost never happened. In mid-2024, Google approached Wiz with a $23 billion offer. Here is Wiz's co-founder and CEO, Asaf Rappaport. He rejected the offer, stating publicly that he preferred to pursue an IPO, an initial public offering, where a private company sells its shares to the public on the stock market. Exactly 1 year later, Google returned to the negotiating table with $32 billion, a 39% premium over the initial bid. A 4-year-old startup successfully called the bluff of the most powerful tech giant on Earth, forcing a $9 billion penalty to get the deal done. Wiz was built by 4 founders who served in Unit 8-2000, Israel's elite military cybersecurity intelligence unit. They applied this military-grade intelligence background to their corporate strategy, identifying and attacking structural flaws in cloud networks far faster than legacy security competitors. That speed of execution resulted in a company that went from a blank slate to a $32 billion valuation in exactly 48 months. Google recognized that their own internal bureaucracy could never match that pace. They were purchasing an execution speed that simply cannot be manufactured overnight. Historically, cloud security relied on agents. These are heavy software programs that administrators had to manually install on every single virtual machine, which are software-based computers running inside physical servers. These agents drain computing power and create massive administrative headaches. If an IT team forgets to install an agent on just one machine, that server turns completely gray to the security system, creating a dangerous blind spot. Wiz bypassed this by pioneering agentless monitoring. Instead of installing local software, they use APIs, application programming interfaces, that allow different software systems to communicate and share data automatically to scan the entire cloud environment from the outside. They removed the core bottleneck of cloud computing. Security went from a system-draining chore to a silent, invisible process running in the background. Looking at the Wiz platform interface here, we can see the 4 specific capabilities Google is actually acquiring. First is Cloud Security Posture Management, or CSPM. CSPM is a security tool designed to identify misconfigurations and compliance risks across cloud infrastructures. This system continuously monitors the entire network layout to catch dangerous misconfigurations. Second is Cloud Workload Protection. This detects active, runtime threats across virtual machines and software containers, which are lightweight software packages that contain all the code and dependencies required to run an application. Third is Data Security Posture Management. It actively sweeps through massive storage databases to find and lock down exposed sensitive data hidden deep in cloud storage. Finally, Code-to-Cloud Tracing. This connects a live server vulnerability directly back to the exact line of original source code that caused the flaw. These 4 pillars provide Google Cloud with a complete, state-of-the-art weapon to immediately siphon enterprise customers away from AWS and Azure. This is the Department of Justice. They scrutinized this acquisition under strict antitrust guidelines, testing whether Google was buying a monopoly. The government cleared the deal, primarily because Wiz's architecture is built to operate across Amazon, Microsoft, and Google environments equally. To secure approval, Google likely had to promise regulators that they would keep Wiz platform neutral, rather than locking the technology exclusively into Google Cloud. In order to protect its own cloud empire, Google paid $32 billion for a tool that it must legally allow its biggest rivals to continue using. Looking at the exterior of Sequoia Capital, the financial victory is clear. The early investors secured an enormous windfall, with Sequoia alone standing to make over $5 billion. That payout yields nearly a 3x return on Wiz's most recent $12 billion valuation. The lingering threat now is integration. Large tech companies frequently suffocate the agility of the startups they acquire. Google must figure out how to fold Wiz in without destroying its multi-cloud culture. Google bought its way to the front of the cloud security line, but at $32 billion, it is a gamble they absolutely cannot afford to lose.